30th of September, Rabbi Levitt, Gemorrah.
Hi, Lou.
Hello. Just us, huh?
Oh, so if you want, we could look into that the issue about with Yaakov Avinu. He says katonti mikol hachasodim. He's worried that he used up his schar.
Yeah, I'd like to look into that.
Do you know where that we saw that in the Peliotes? Oh, I was trying to find it last night. I couldn't find it.
Where we saw it?
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing it in Peliotes.
That's okay. If you don't know offhand, I'll just what I'm going to do is I'm going to look. We have two sources for this idea. We have Avram Avinu. Rashi brings it in the Chumash that he also thought the same thing, and Yaakov Avinu. So I'm going to just take a look over there and see if they have. I know there's a couple. There should be at least one entry and perhaps more in the Gemorahs. So I'm gonna. So first thing is we could take a look at a Chumash Bereshis.
Okay.
And we'll look up those two psukim.
Okay, Bereshis. And then we will be in what parsha? Let's see. Okay, I think Lech Lecha probably for Avraham.
Okay. Okay, Bereshis. So right. So this the first time that I know about, it's found in Parshas Lech Lecha. It's in Bereshis, the beginning of Perik Tes Vav.
Tes Vav 16.
Tes Vav 15.
15. That Tes Vav.
זה שהורג אס המלאכים היה דואג ואומר שמא קיבלתי שכר על כל צדקויסי. כך אמר לו המקום אל תירא אברהם. Okay.
You're on Pasuk 4?
I am on the first pasuk over here. Acha hadvar me'ela. Okay, so what's happened so far? Oh, Roy's coming in. All right. So the pasuk says, after these matters, referring to the war of the 4 and 5 kings, that Avram Avinu entered into that war with Eliezer against all the world powers in order to rescue Lot. and he came out with loads. And Chazal tell us that there was not spoken about so much in the Psukim and the Chumash, but Chazal tell us that there was tremendous nisim that Hashem did for Avram Avinu in order to save him as a singular individual going into a world war of numerous world powers and coming out alive altogether, and also being able to get his nephew Lot out. And so it says, after all these matters, Hayad Devar Hashem el Avram b'machazeh. Hashem, the word of Hashem appeared to Avram Avinu in a vision. Lemor, al tira Avram. Don't be afraid, Avram. Anochi magain lach. I am your magain. I'm your shield. Scharcha harbe ma'od. And your reward is very, very great. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Boy,
Right.
we're not doing Bava Kama now.
Oh,
We decided that since only Lou is here, we're gonna focus on a question that he once asked in Pelayotz about this idea of Hashem doing kindness and even miracles for a person that could eat away at his scar.
okay.
So the first time we see this is in Sefer Bereshis.
Oh, sorry, what page in Pelayotz?
We couldn't find it in Pelayotz. I don't remember where it is in Pelayotz, but we're going right to the source that the Pelayotz is referring to. In other words, it's not an idea that he invented. It's an idea that goes back to Chazal, and they learn it on a pasuk with Avram Avinu. After Avram Avinu was protected and saved in a miraculous way by Hashem in the war between the 4 and the 5 kings.
Right.
So it says over here that Hashem told him, "Don't worry, Avram. Don't be afraid. Your scar is very, very great." So what is this referring to? Why does Hashem tell him that? So Rashi brings the Chazal. Rashi on this first pasuk, Achar Dvar Me'ela. Rashi brings a medrash, Bereshis Rabbah, and it says over there, Achar Hadvar Me'ela, Achar Shenasa Lo Nes, Zeh Sheharag Es Amalachim B'Haya Doeg. Hashem did nisim with Avram Avinu that he was able to be victorious over the kings in this world war. B'Haya Doeg. And Avram Avinu, for his part, was worried. What was he worried about? He was worried, and he said, Shema kibalti skar al kol tzidkosi. Maybe I have been paid back the reward that all of my righteousness that I have done in my life has been and the reward for that is this is my reward that Hashem did changed over he saved me and made me victorious in this world war. Therefore, that's why Hashem said to Avram, Al tira Avram, don't be afraid of that. Anochi mogein lach, I'm your shield. Says Rashi mina onish shalo te anesh hakol osam nefashos shaharagta. This is sounds like a different shot that Rashi's bringing over here. That Avram Avinu was not concerned about the scar that he lost, but he was concerned not that he lost, but that it was paid back. He didn't lose any scar. Nobody loses scar, but he already, in other words, that scar that he would have gotten has been used to pay for his these nisim that Hashem did for him in order to keep him alive, because according to the general situation that was over there, he's going into a world war of all sorts of kings and soldiers and weaponry, and he's over there himself with anybody over there, any one of those people with all of their armaments and all of their troops and all of their warriors, their life is in grave danger. Just think about Avram Avinu. What do you think he went into this war with? He went together with Eliezer, according to one opinion in Chazal. The two of them, what weapons did they have? Didn't have too many weapons, and so it was a tremendous nace that Hashem did for him. So that all those nisim that Hashem had to, so to speak, change around the way that the world generally runs according to his hashkacha. He had to change all of that, so to speak, in order to keep Avram Avinu alive. Avram Avinu thought that he has to pay for that. He has to pay for that service that he got from Hashem. Hashem said, "No, don't worry. You have an awful lot of scar, Avram Avinu. Don't worry about that."
We don't pay for all these things, do we?
Well, so that's the question over here. Is it simply that Avram Avinu had a Havamina, and Hashem is coming to tell him, no, Avram Avinu, that's not the way it works. I don't run my world like that. Is that what Hashem is saying to him? Or is Hashem saying to him, don't worry, Avram Avinu, you have so much scar. Don't worry about this this amount that you had to pay for these nisim. You don't really need to worry. It's not really clear from the words of the pasuk.
Is there anywhere else that it's hinted that one pays with one's?
I'm glad you asked that. There is another place. There's another place that Yaakov Avinu in Parshas Vayishlach. The beginning of Parshas Vayishlach. This is in Bereshis Lamed Beis.
I'm going to quickly get a comment. Sorry. Yishlach is 170. Oops.
Okay.
Yeah.
So over here, in the beginning of Yishlach, it says that Yaakov sent Malachim to his brother Esav, and the Malachim came back, and they said, yeah, your brother Esav is coming. He's coming your direction, and he has 400 army generals with him. So Yaakov Avinu in Pasuk Ches says, "V'yira Yaakov ma'od v'yitztalo v'yachatz esa'am asher ito v'esatzon v'esabokor v'akmolim v'shnei machanot." Says that Yaakov he had yira. He was afraid. Rashi said, "V'yira shema yehareg, v'yitzalo im yaharog hu es acherim." He was afraid that he would be killed. He was afraid that he would have to kill. And so he took various measures. He divided the camps, and then of course he was sending presents to Esav all along. And then he said a prayer in Pasuk Yud. V'yomer Yaakov. He said Hashem, ha'omer elai, you've said to me, shuv la'artzecha v'lumoladetcha v'eitiv imach, that you will merit to return to your land and to your birthplace, and I will do good with you over there. And then he says, "Kantonti mikola chasodim mikola emes." I have been made small from all of the chesed, all of the emes, asher asisa es avdecha, that you have done with me, your servant. Tibamakli avarti es ayarden, with nothing more than a staff. I crossed this Yarden. V'ata hayisi l'shnei machanot. Now I have 4 wives, 12 children, great wealth, which he all attributed to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, his siyata d'shmaya and his hashkocha. Now Rashi over here on these words, katanti mikola chasodim, Rashi brings the words of Chazal, nismatu schuyoti al yedei hachasodim va'emes shasisa imi. My merits have been diminished.
That's
How
the word
so?
they use here.
What?
They use the word here, diminished.
Yeah.
In the art scroll.
Oh, so I was mechaben to Art Scroll. Wow. How do you like that?
Rabbi, you've reached new heights.
Baruch Hashem. So what does that mean? Nismatu skuyot si. And for what? How did that happen? Al yedei hasadim va'emes shasisa imi. That you have done all of these hasadim for me. I had nothing, and you gave me so much, and I regarded all as chesed. So undoubtedly, my merits have been diminished as payment for all of this chesed that I have received. The kachani yoreh, and Rashi explains this is for this reason. I am afraid. Shema mi shehivtachtani nislachlachti b'chet v'yigrom li lihimaser biad Esav. That perhaps after the time that you had promised me that you would return me to my land and do good with me, to be able to return to Eretz Israel, that I have become sullied with sin. And that sin that I have been sullied with is going to cause me, chas v'shalom, to be given over into the hands of my brother, Esav.
So what is interesting to me is that in the case of Abraham that we just read, he uses the word schar. And in this case, it uses the word schus.
Okay.
So I asked Rabbi first, what's the difference? And we're in the middle of this whole discussion about what's the difference between schar and schus. That's one point. The other point is that he's combining two things. One is the diminishment of the schus because of the kindness and truth that was done to him by Hashem. That's one principle. And being tainted by sin is the second principle. So this tainted by sin makes perfect sense to me. He's saying, well, maybe because I have sinned, that's had a bad effect on me, and things have changed. So does that? I mean, why are these two together in one comment? It seems to be either one or the other. Either he's being diminished because he's got a lot of miracles, or he sinned and changed the situation. But it seems like both of them are somehow being combined together.
But who's combining them?
Rashi.
Rashi.
Rashi is saying this phrase, I am unworthy because of all the kindness.
Well, if he's saying that Yaakov is saying this.
Right, Rashi's explaining what Yaakov means when he says, I have been unworthy because of the kindness. Number one, you did all this good for me, and therefore maybe it diminished my merits.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, maybe I sinned.
So that means that's the point of view or the understanding of Yaakov, which Rashi is bringing out.
Right.
So that's the understanding of a human. It doesn't mean that it is so.
Well, Yaakov Avinu is a human, yes, but he's a very significant human. I mean, if he has an opinion, then we gotta deal with that.
Right. It's interesting that he brings up the concept of payment and repayment, but that's still he's still in a situation where he's is fearful and as a human, and he's thinking as a human being, even if it is at a much higher level than what we would do. And Rashi is pointing out what he is thinking, but it doesn't mean that that's the way that Hashem is thinking.
Right. The reason I mentioned the word schus as opposed to schar is because if I would define schus as something that a person acquires through his efforts. A person, builds himself up. He develops his character. He makes himself into a different person by doing the mitzvahs, by doing kindness, by the things that he does that affect him in a positive way. Whereas schar is is a reward. It has nothing to do with him building himself up and changing himself and making himself into something. It just means he did something. You know, if you're a worker, you get paid a salary. So you're not getting paid because you made yourself a better worker. You're getting paid because you did the job.
Okay, so for schus, you're doing it on yourself. So you put you earn 5 shekels. So you put that into the bank, and for the schar, you're given 5 shekels. So you put that into the bank, and now you've got 10 shekels. So
What I'm saying is, schus, you're not getting any shekels.
what are you getting? Just covered.
Let's say you are a fitness nut, and you go to the gym and you work out and you build yourself up,
Yeah.
and you make yourself into a person who's very fit, very strong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now that's who you are. You're a strong person now.
Right.
You didn't get any money for it. You got the benefit to your body.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't take that away from the person.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the muscles. That's it. That's part of him now. He's a new person. He's a muscle person.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the person who goes to the gym and instead of working out, he cleans the floor, and they give him 5 shekels. So you could take the 5 shekels away.
Mm-hmm.
Has nothing to do with him being a different person.
Mm-hmm.
The person goes to Shemayim.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the bodybuilder that goes to the gym. He can now work out on all the difficult equipment, right? Because he's made himself into a person that can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't take that away from him and say, "Oh, well, you can't work out on this equipment anymore because I gave you 5 shekels." He says, "I'm strong enough. I can work out. I'm qualified to work out on this equipment. You can't change that."
All right. There are different kinds of. Most of them give some sort of reward. There are different kinds of rewards.
Right, but I'm making a distinction between reward and merit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying merit is
So
not
which is used for the payment. Both or
reward is a payment.
pardon?
Reward is a payment. Schar is a payment.
Payment.
Merit, zuchus, is not a payment. It is
Can't use it for a payment.
It is an effect on the person himself.
Yeah.
You can't pay somebody muscles. Here, you worked out hard, so I'm going to give you some bigger muscles. You got the muscles because you worked out. They're in. They can't be taken apart. They can't be separated. They go together. You can't separate the muscles from the person.
Yeah, but I think actually it seems it's a good what do you call it?
Muscle.
I don't actually think it is, because we're not really talking about something physical in that sort of way. I think it's with the things that the both of them are given to you, or you earn, are quite more above this physical business of 5 shekels or muscles or whatever. I don't know what.
Well, when you go to Shemayim, when you go to Shemayim, okay.
Yeah.
Here's another muscle. Person goes to a person 120 years past. A person goes to be with Eliyahu Hanavi. Eliyahu Hanavi says, goes take him to two doors. One door says Gehenna, and one door says Shemayim.
Mhm.
So he opens the door to Gehenna,
Yeah.
and he sees a bunch of people sitting around a table, and there's all kinds of food on the table. But all of them, instead of having hands, they have spoons.
Mm.
They have their arms are straight, end in a spoon, and it's just too long to be able to get it into his mouth.
Mhm.
And they're all starving because nobody can eat anything.
Mhm.
So they close that door and they go to the next door, Shemayim. They open the door. They see the same exact scene. Everybody's got an arm that's too long. But the difference is, in this room, they're feeding each other.
Mhm.
So the point of that mashal is that it's the midos of the person, of the people, that cause them to be able to do well in that environment,
Mhm.
not the environment. So the person goes to Shemayim if during his lifetime he's done mitzvahs and good deeds, and he's made himself into a certain kind of a person, particularly if he's a spiritual person, a person who has focused on the spiritual benefits of life. So he's now in the spiritual environment. He's going to be better suited for that environment. He's going to do better. That's his reward,
Mhm.
that he does better because of what he's made himself into.
Right.
So that's how I answer your question, your comment about the fact that it's not physical.
Mhm. I'm not too sure what where it leads me or us. I really am not.
I fed you too many muscles. You're having trouble
No.
digesting them all.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I know. What do you think, Rabbi Levitt?
Well, we have two issues over here. We have the issue that you raised, Roy. This is what Avram Avinu was fearful of, and this is what Yaakov Avinu was fearful of. And we see that they were in fact fearful of this. And you're pointing out, yeah, we see that's the way that tzaddikim thought about the matter. So the question is the question that you raised. I think it's a valid question. Is that in fact the way things work, the way that they think? Does Hashem run his world in that way? That's the threshold issue over here. And we don't see any confirmation on Hashem's part that in fact is the way things work, that there is such a thing like that. So that's the first thing that we have to find out about. My inclination is to say that it must be that there is something to it, because not only did they say it, but the Torah tells us that they said it, and the Gemorrah speaks about it as well. So it would seem like that there is something to it, what they're saying. And the fact that they said it and the Torah records it would seem to give it validity, that it is a valid, it is the way that things work. It is the way that things could work. Things could work in that way. So there, if so, then we have to understand how is it that it works like this? How is it that it works like this? I thought just to answer off the top of my head without really seeing the sources inside, while we have 1 minute left. True. Let's say you got a guy that goes to the Dodger game, and he's learned, he's played baseball, and he's read about baseball. He knows everything that there is to know about baseball. So, okay, so he's gonna have a wonderful time. He's gonna be able to know exactly what's going on. But you know what? The ticket that he's got is in the bleachers. He can hardly see over there what's going on. So he is who he is, but the ticket that he's got, in order to get into the game, in order to have the enjoyment of being there by the game, the ticket that he has only paid him this much in order to get to the place where he is, which is not in the best place to be able to see the to appreciate the game. That could be a way of understanding the way that a reward could be diminished, because it's already been paid for because of chasadim and nisim and tovus that Hashem has done for the person.
Maybe it works
Very
in
interesting.
situations. Hashem brings that into play under certain circumstances, but not under others. We've seen here that Hashem said, no, you're okay, you've got plenty there. So he hasn't made Yaakov, Abraham, was it? Hasn't made Abraham pay for anything. But he might, under another circumstance, he might.
Yeah, see, I've been assuming everybody gets the same ticket. So that's very interesting that you're throwing another variable into the
A curveball.
yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
a very good a good metaphor. I have to think about that. I think we got to go. It's 12:31.
Okay. Yashikoyach.
So
Well, thank you,
tomorrow-
Rabbi, very much. I appreciate your indulging me.
Okay, and if you want to look up, or you say you already looked this up, there's just a very short reference to this pasuk of Yaakov Avinu, Katonti Mikol Chasadim, you've made me small. It's in Shabbos, Lamed Beis Amid Aleph, 32a in Shabbos.
Shabbos Lamed Beis Amid Aleph.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I did look that up.
yeah, we've got that.
I did look that up. That's part of the input
Okay.
I used to build up my my views.
Okay. So tomorrow is like an ordinary Friday. It's at 10:30 to 11:30.
Yeah.
And we do Pele Yoetz, is that right?
Yeah, if you want to do Peleotes, we'll do
Okay.
Peleotes,
All right.
whatever you want. Or if you want, we could continue with this.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Well, let's see who's here tomorrow, and we can talk about it
Okay.
then.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you very much. Be well, all of you. and,
All right, have a great day.
be well. Thank you very
Okay.
much. Rabbi.
Yashikoyach to everyone.
Right, right.
Hagdil Torah Ladira.
Amen.